Hi, it's really good to see everyone this morning, this evening. We're going to have a short class as we get started. We'll be talking about blockage removal, how it works in our process during these meditations. And we'll explore that with an animation to help us visualize more. And then we'll go into our usual meditation. And if there are particular people here, either in the Zoom that you can access at jonah.is, or I see you on Facebook, I will be checking in on the feed. And if I see people there, and especially people who are interested um, in some personalized attention, I'll tune into your field and give some direct guidance and also check up on the work that's going to be going on for everyone in this meditation. And if I'm working on one person and their particular issues, the energy and the intelligence behind that issue will spread out to everyone. And of course, you're all receiving individualized attention during this process from my higher self, which is an orange Andromedan dragon that specializes in healing and Reiki healing, and also from your guides and the energy that I provide, that Yona provides through me, that dragon energy, all the other beings that are near and dear to you, the beings of the light that are close to you from your history or could assist most, they're all welcome to step in and assist and use this energy as a platform, as a building block and input into the type of healing that they may want to do with you on this show and this program. And also, as I'll always say, and I'm always learning how to phrase it differently. I see healing as a very holistic and a very long-term process. This is healing physically, mentally, spiritually, on all levels. I see spiritual growth as an all-encompassing healing process. And in the same way that blockages cause the immediate physical symptoms that you might see in a disease that you're suffering from right now, the exact same types of blockages and that mechanism of blockages also cause all kinds of mental problems. Now, maybe a different specific blockage causing a physical condition versus causing a mental condition, and the structure and how they're arranged is going to be different, very likely. But how blockages work and the types of energy that are stored there and how that energy is stored is the same for blockages that are causing physical problems and blockages that are causing mental problems. And for blockages causing mental issues, those are the same types of issues that block you from freeing yourself from the mind in general. And when you free yourself from the mind in general, you can meditate better, and eventually you can do all the spiritual activities that people who are on the spiritual path want to do. So there's essentially no difference between saying, I want to cure a physical blockage and engaging in that process, and saying, I want to, reach enlightenment or experience other realms of other aspects of existence. The process and that growth of freeing yourself, of unwinding these blockages is the same. And it just depends how far you take that process. As we progress, we heal physical symptoms causing mental issues. We get freer and freer. We wind up being able to free our mind much more and do all sorts of other things. So it's really a continuation of a process that addresses all of these goals. And that's what we're doing here. So this is a process. It's a lifestyle. You could see healing and growth as a lifestyle rather than I'm going to one healing session right now. And that's what we do. We have an accessible process, a process where, we have these Zoom sessions that are very, very available. And we also provide, instructions and the tools so you can also do meditation and do this type of meditation on your own. So with that, it's great to see everybody here, everyone who's live, everyone that will watch this video upcoming on the live stream. And I definitely, can't wait to be in touch with all of you, hear about all of your experiences. If you want to share, can make a video of yourself sharing how it was for you. Send it to me on Facebook. We all love to see and hear what people are experiencing. It gives motivation. It's always been motivating to me to hear about other people's experiences. And of course, those experiences aren't going to be our own. Each of our paths is different. We're all working through different blockages at different times. We all have different abilities that open up for each of us as we go along our individual paths. But it's always nice to come together as a group and hear about each other's experiences. So in our class portion today, we're going to be taking a look at blockages. When I first started learning about this topic, and that was around the time when I was getting initiated generally into this field of work, I read a book. It was quite an old book, and it was good, and I have tremendous respect for the author, but I want to add to that knowledge and build upon it. And this was called A Guide to Shaktipat, which was pioneering in the field and in its day, and it still is because there's so little written on this topic. What I want to do, both today and in general, as we move forward in the process, is provide as much detail as possible. I like folks to be able to understand, to visualize, to really get the most concrete grasp they can of the process. Now, where do I get this information? I get this information from the 6 years I spent working on myself through the specific process of unwinding blockages. I get this information because I've gotten very good and detailed at how I perceive blockages within my body. The way I perceive them is mainly sensory rather than visual. And I translate what I feel. I could almost make an image of that in my head as I try to describe it more. But I can feel very, very carefully in a lot of detail. You can imagine if you're holding something or you're feeling something resting on you, you have a lot of detail in those sensations. And I can feel what type of blockage that was, what type of an emotion or flavor of an emotion relates to that blockage. I can feel how big it is, how small it is, what the texture of it is like. And as these blockages are released and I've observed what's happened within myself, I've learned more and more about the process of removing blockages. And I try to make that information as available as I can and as understandable as I can. As part of doing that, I write about it. I have a book on Kindle called Thought Pattern Dissolve, which goes into it. We're going to have a Udemy course soon, which is going to go into it more in a video format. And we're also going to get into it now and look at some slides and a short animation that I'm just putting together, and I'll be improving it and improving the graphics as we go along. So let's go ahead. Let's get into this. And we're going to illustrate here what the network of blockages look like and how Yona, the intelligence we're using in our particular process, might go about deciding the order to tackle these blockages. It's always something I wondered about. I don't know about you, but I'm removing blockages inside myself. How is it determined which blockage we're going to tackle first? Can we just get rid of all of them at the same time? If we are going through an order, how do we think about what kind of order that is? How is that order even determined? We're going to start looking at that today, thinking about some of the considerations that go into the order in which we remove these blockages. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look. Okay. Okay. So we're starting off, we're going to look at a particular blockage. And let's say this blockage relates to anger, the emotion anger. And we're going to look at a core blockage. And as I define core blockage in Thought Pattern Dissolve second edition on Kindle, the core blockage is the one that you experience the most. And it's cherry picked. It's a cherry picked blockage from all the other blockages around anger. But this is the one that your brain feels the most. This is the one that's hooked in because it would be impossible to directly be experiencing all the time all of the thousands of blockages related to this type of emotion. So when your karmic structure is put together and when it evolves, it cherry picks certain blockages that are representative of certain types of emotions. And those are the ones that it really latches onto. And those are the ones that are most cognitively apparent. So anger. So let's say the one that's cherry picked, it's the worst experience of anger, the worst thing that made you angry from your last lifetime. And that's the one that your brain is most familiar with today. But that's not all. And as we go through the process of unwinding these blockages, we have to look at what else is there, what else is surrounding and linked to that sanskara of anger that is most in your cognitive awareness. And what do you know? We got frustration from 5 lifetimes ago. So it's not such a big blockage, but it is linked to our primary blockage. Let's see what else is there. Let's say we have lack of support from earlier this lifetime. That's caused anger, right? So it's a little bit bigger. Visualizing is a bit closer to our core blockage, is a bit more intense, a bit more tightly coupled in with that black line there instead of a dotted line. Let's see what else we got here. We got anger from someone burned down our hut 20 lifetimes ago. We could have been living in rural India and we had a hut with a thatched roof and doggone it, somebody burned it down. And we still got that hanging out, right? So it's a bit more diffuse. It's from a lot of lifetimes ago, but we're still holding on to it. And we got that there. Let's see. Betrayal by our business partner when we were silk trading in China on that Silk Road 5 lifetimes ago. It's still there. Okay? Still got to deal with that. Let's see what else we got here. We got anger from when our camel was stolen 10 lifetimes ago. Okay? Got a little bit of anger, but that's linked very strongly. So we have a network of sanskaras here that's linked very strongly to then when we starved to death in the desert after our camel was stolen. We couldn't get back home. We didn't have the food that was tied to the camel. We lost that. got a huge sanskara related to that. So we have something a little more mild attached to a nice big one there, starving in the desert. And that's really tied in to our anger. And we're still angry about that, even if we don't recognize exactly what that was on the cognitive level, but it's coming up, it's bubbling up sometimes. And then we have thoughts, different thoughts that come up that are more related to our current conditions, but they're actually from when we starved in the desert 10 lifetimes ago after our camel was stolen. Let's see what else we got here. We had divorce last lifetime. Oh, that's pretty bad. Very bad. Hugely coupled to the anger we have now, in fact. And then also tied into that, we lost the kids in the last lifetime. Oh, that's horrible. And it wasn't quite as severe as the divorce, but it was still pretty bad. So the, those are some of the issues that we can have. And now we're going to look at another animation that will take a look at how these unwind, what that looks like. Give me a second as we head over to that. Okay. So now we come over to our process here. We're using that Andromedan healing frequency, orange Andromedan wisdom, to start unwinding these guys. So we got a whole network of all our sanskaras here. And let's take a look at what happens. And we have to ask ourselves, what kind of order is our orange dragon Yona going to pick for us to start working through these? Because we can't just take out the core blockage. We got all this other stuff holding on to it. Wouldn't have anywhere else to go. Our karmic structure would be destabilized. So it's going to have to start picking around the edges, some of the stuff that's easier to lift out first. So let's see what might happen. That frustration 5 lifetimes ago, not so bad. So we could start over there. Now, after that, burning down our hut 20 lifetimes ago, that's ready to go. It's not tied into too many other things. After that, betrayal by our business partner. Again, it's kind of a lack of support earlier this lifetime, right? A little more severe, we can get to it. The camel is stolen, that's easier to get rid of. So we'll do that first before getting into being starved in the desert. And then piece by piece, we'll tackle the last issues, the divorce. And now we can finally get to our core blockage that we're experiencing now and get rid of that. So, and then finally we're free of that and we don't have that anger that we're holding in our life anymore. So I hope you've enjoyed that explanation. I hope it brought a little bit more clarity into this process. So we're going to go ahead now. We're going to get into the meditation portion of this live stream. And in this meditation, we're going to go deep. And we'll be entering into a process like you saw illustrated, where we're going to be getting at the root causes, those underlying sanskaras. Could be 5 lifetimes ago, could be 20 lifetimes ago, could be 100 lifetimes ago, could be more. As I started doing this process, I began to realize that there's so many more lifetimes than I could have imagined. And I also will admit that when I started this process, I was ambivalent as to my belief in if there was reincarnation or if there was even multiple lifetimes, right? I had heard about this concept. I had studied, Hinduism, Chinese traditions, Jewish traditions, and some of those traditions I had noticed talked about reincarnation, that there could be multiple births. And I didn't really know if that was true or not, because it just wasn't in my experience. And I had only experienced this lifetime up until that point. And I really didn't know if there were multiple lifetimes, if there was any truth in that whatsoever. It just was out of my experience. Eventually, in this process, a bunch of things happened. One of which is that I had a flashback of briefly seeing my face and how it changed over numerous lifetimes. And I began to get an inclination or a visualization that I had actually been a very large amount of people before. And in that vision, it was flashing so quickly, I couldn't even keep up with how many, how many images, how many faces that had been kind of superimposed on my face as they went. And some were normal faces, some were a bit crooked. The other thing that was just undeniable evidence is how many blockages there were. I processed so many blockages that I realized that I couldn't have accumulated all those in this lifetime. It just wouldn't have been possible. And as difficult as this lifetime has been, not that many bad things have happened to equal that huge number of blockages. So they have to have come from somewhere else, right? And the other is that sometimes I would either get a vision or an inkling or a feeling or hear some words or have thoughts around what the nature of that blockage was and where it actually come from. And those situations were not situations that occurred in this lifetime. So they must have come from other lifetimes. So, in this process, we will be going back. Some of that stuff may be from earlier in this lifetime. Most of that stuff will be from other lifetimes that could have been recent or they could have been very far back. But we will go into this process. The process encompasses much more than what we've talked about, erasing the sanskaras. There's a lot more complications. There's other processes that Yona will guide you through individually. There are other processes that your guides, your angels will leverage this energy in this space to guide you through. So what's important, what I want you to do is stay with the process, focus. You can stay with your breath if that helps. I will do some talking. I'll bring you back. If there is anybody who's interested in individual work or just wants to say hi, message on the Facebook chat or ping in, and then we'll be able to work on people individually, and that will allow us to even deepen our practice and our process together. So definitely chime in. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know how it's going. Let us know what's happening in your life. So, when you do that, ping on the chat, right? And then go back and close your eyes. The work is happening in a closed eyes state. If your eyes are open and you're moving around, it's not going to be the same experience. So do close your eyes, pop into the chat, write something mean, and then go back and close your eyes. So we're going to begin in just a second. We're going to get started. And we're going to start now making this hand position. It's a little bit different. We're going to do it this time. It's going to be just like this. We'll hold it up just like that. And we'll chant Om 3 times. We'll use Om to bring us into this particular meditation. I also may call in Meher Baba to guest star in this transmission. Get a feeling he may want to come in and join us, and he'll bring a bit of a different energy for that part. It'll mix things up a little bit. It'll be exciting. So go ahead and make this mudra. We're going to chant Om, sing Om 3 times. We'll do it together. Say it out loud. Om. Really belt it out loud and clear. Om. One more time, and then after that, put the hands down, be relaxed, palms open, spine up, alert, awake, and be with this process. Last one. Oh. Okay, beautiful. Remain with your eyes closed, be relaxed, be present, be in a place where you're not disturbed. If you are getting disturbed, move to somewhere where you are not disturbed. Remain in silence. And as Meher Baba says, that's someone who I trained by his burial place. There's a sign there, and it says, the best things are given and received in silence. And it's no different for this process. That silence allows your attention to focus on what's important, what's happening in your body, your experience, and that's going to further enable this process to take root. So I want you to remain quiet, remain in silence. We're going to bring in Meher Baba right now. He's going to join us in this transmission from an energetic level. And let's all open up to allow him in. And Meher Baba went by Avatar Meher Baba in his lifetime. And Avatar denoting an extreme level of mastery. And he is a master of love, a master of devotion, and a master of moving through life and getting through these incarnations, these cycles that we are in, escaping from them and realizing broader love and broader presence. So let's welcome him in as a master, a teacher, and example for all of us to be with and share with now. And allow his energy to permeate through you. It's a very loving energy. So we're welcoming Avatar Meher Baba in this transmission at this time. And again, we're primarily transmitting on an energy work level rather than a vocal level. And he could come in and he could say some things, but when we're transmitting and doing this work, the main mode of the transmission is on the level of your direct spiritual growth and benefit. So we're directly doing things like unwinding sanskaras, doing soul retrievals, doing other complex spiritual processes. And it's different than transmitting a frequency. A frequency being the feeling you get when you access a certain being of light. And you can kind of read their frequency, and it's like you're knowing who they are. They're addressed by that frequency. This is different. We are transmitting work. We're transmitting effect. We're transmitting a process. So yes, you can say we're transmitting a flow, and that flow is a currency, a medium where work is being done. But what's being transmitted is feeding directly into the work process on you that's happening at this time. So it's a different type of transmission. It's more of a process transmission, and the power, the voltage that is powering that process along with the process itself, that's what's being transmitted now. And we're welcoming Meher Baba to guide us in that process. And I can feel him coming in through my crown chakra and out to all of you. And he's going to where each and every one of you are. He's pushing out through me the frequency, the flow that's necessary for him to do his work. And that flow is reaching you. And he's directing it and using it to do his work inside your body, inside your system. Your physical body, your subtle body, your astral body, your bodiless body, all the different bodies that make up who you are. He's using that to do this work. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. That's a tone of respect, a salute that Meher Baba used in his lifetime. And we're saying that now to honor him as he comes in with his presence and does this work. And Baba is very experienced with the same type of frequencies that I use, the same frequencies that Yona uses. Those are the same frequencies that he worked with in his lifetime. So he knows just how to leverage the energetic basis that we are spreading out, we are fanning out right now. He knows how to work with that. He's an expert at it. People are feeling that right now. Mention it, mention it. Open your eyes for a second, just a second, drop into the chat and tell us what you're feeling. How are you feeling? How are you feeling now? How are you feeling with Baba's grace, that particular energy and mode of working? How are you feeling? Let us know. And I can feel that frequency looking up, ramping up, even though I'm looking at the chat to see if messages are coming in. It's ramping up through my fingers now. So just stay with that for a moment. Okay, that's good. God is welcoming all of you for being here. He's very, very grateful for you to be in his presence. Let him serve you and know that you're in the presence of the avatar. Charmander Baba Ki Jai. And we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna share one song that is related to Meher Baba,
महिमा
and
तुझा
after that we'll see we may switch this transmission
अपार
back after
मैं
that.
हर
But
अवतारा
focusing
स्वीकारा
on Meher Baba specifically
आरती
with a
तुमची
song that honors him, honors his
मणि
presence, honors how he
निरंजन
has given us now
लावण्य
in
जो
this transmission. Welcome,
अनादि
Meher Baba, Jay Baba. This song is
मैं
dedicated
हर
to you.
अवतारा स्वीकारा आरती तुमची केली मणि निरंजन लावण्य ज्योत मनाची धूप जाळुनी दीप लावुनी पुष्पे
And you may
अर्पुनी
notice some music
देवा
songs in
पुष्पे
this iconic
अर्पुनी
music. These are
मोठे पडकामत
energy flow, and I'm going to do this when I'm guiding to so in this case guided by Baba to do so.
में हर
This particular
अवतारा
hand gesture that we're
स्वीकारा
doing, it's speaking to movement, but essentially the posture
केली
is an energy transmission position where the energy can flow freely out from the fingertips, and it's primarily flowing from my index finger and
तुम्हीच
pointer
कारक
finger.
तुम्हीच
And
कारक
then this
आदि
position
तुम्ही
facilitates an additional flow from the
देवा
same.
आदि तुम्ही
So you're getting all that energy, especially from a movement, so that's what rumor is. And then the further gesture and motion also ties into the action of what it's doing. And we are sweeping, we are clearing away, we are pushing away some very difficult blockages, particularly in the heart region. For some of those people right now, we're putting in some force. Baba, his hand guiding my hand, to send this energy, maybe easier for him, the work that he wants to do, because he's not in body right now, he's the avatar. So leveraging this body and this energy that is coming out from the physical body helps him to do his work in a more impactful way. And if you watch any videos of him during his lifetime, read the extensive books about him, and his travels and all the work that he did, you'll often see that he did things in the physical world to accentuate spiritual processes and accomplish the work that he was trying to do with ease and grace. You may also notice that he also had frequent hand movements. He was very expressive with his hands. And his hands were especially designed to transmit energy that he was moving using in his work. And most of the transmissions that I did were specifically in we'll actually have more of Baba specifically to I love working with Baba. I feel extremely connected to his energy. I've meditated Bani for a long time. I've been charged with his energy for countless hours, and it feels like my own. I can't even differentiate between his energy and energy that comes from my system. The main way I differentiate is actually the string connection. And often, specifically calling Baba, especially when there's an audience of Baba lovers, people who are intending to receive energy from Baba, I get a tremendously strong charge of his energy, and that is when I 100% know for sure that Baba is coming through with incredible force. So we're going to conclude the Baba portion of this transmission. Baba would like to, step back at this time, and we'll pause here for a little bit. I'm going to switch to an individual mode right now, just for a little bit. And I'm going to work specifically on Vikram for a minute. And I'm going to tune in with his energy for the next couple minutes specifically. So I've pulled up your picture there. I didn't need to, your name would be enough, but I'm going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to tune into you directly. If you are watching, if you're not, it's fine. I'll still be able to feel what's going on. You can watch the replay later if needed. So let's check in with Vikram. Let's see how he's doing. Okay. All right. So I'm feeling things that need to be addressed in the lower chest, around the ribs, around the lower ribs. And in that in that area, also right in the center of the chest, between the heart and the Manipura areas. So that's where that work is going. And now I'm going to send a little bit of energy into there and get this process moving here. And I love that beautiful picture you have up of the Samadhi, Meherabad Samadhi in Meherabad. Looks amazing. We are going to tune into you for another couple moments here. Okay. Thank you, Vikram. We are next going to turn into Graciela. Graciela, I'm delighted you could join us. I'd love to see more of you. I'll even be in the Bay Area next month, and you may be there as well. We might get to see each other again. Hope we do. And let's take a look. Feeling more in the root chakra here at this time. And stay with you for another couple of moments. Feeling into the Manipura at this time. And if you want, you can pop into the chat. You can write what you're feeling, or you can come on voice if you want. You could let us know what you're feeling if you're comfortable with that. No, it's okay. Graciela is someone who has a ton of healing potential in her own right. I don't know if she started healing yet, but she has a ton of innate capability for that. Very gifted individual. Gonna run some energy here up and down her central line. We're still in the Manipura chakra, the upper Manipura. Working through some past life death issues that robbed her of some of the vitality and the strength that she needs right now. I'm definitely curious to catch up with you here where you are in your life and where some extra power could be used, what you're up to. All right. We are going to transition now to Dritten. Dritten Saga is also a energy worker in Europe. Has his own website. He has his own business. Spent a lot of time healing people with back issues, with other issues. Tune in to Mr. Dritten, Mr. Saga. And we all have issues we have to deal with, even if we are healers. I have my own issues I work through. Nothing to be ashamed about. I'm very open with what I'm working through. Um, at this moment with Dritten, we are working through some areas as well. Okay. Let's go to Vesna. Let's go to Vesna. She's also in Europe, I believe in Serbia. And we are going right into the chest, into the upper left chest. Dealing with sorrows and pains over here, and we want to start burning those out little by little. It's a process. Vesna has been through some really difficult times, especially recently. Very, very tragic times, painful times, and we need to help her build a foundation to get some more light in her life and to get through these travails. And again, it is a process, it's a lifestyle, and little by little, through the grace and through the power of entities like Meher Baba, um, of my higher self, which brings her full potential and support and capabilities into this process, and of the other beings of the light and the angels that come in to assist us, that love Vesna very much, that want to take care of her, that want to protect her, that want to help her heal. In this process, we are treating all of that. We're bringing that love and that support from so many places, right? This isn't a place where just one being is helping us. We are open to maximize all the support, that we have, right? And we do have my higher self, which is directly tied into me, which is not afraid to come in and step in and help in a strong way when it's needed, and support an ongoing process. We have Meher Baba here, and we have other beings of the light, some of which are known. If you have a relationship with Archangel Michael, that's someone who may come in for you, and other beings of the light, deities, angels, Hindu deities, depending on your past, who you're connected with, who your lineage is connected with, who know you and your issues well, master healers, they may come in for you and assist you. And we're creating a platform, we're creating a space, creating a tube of light around each and every one of you, that with your openness, these beings that love you can come in and help out, and give the support, give the pushes, give your system the nudges and the tweaks that it needs to get out of what you're going through. And then even when you're not going through anything, even when you're not trying to heal anything, when you have healed already what you need to get healed, you continue on your pathway for your overall growth. And that's actually what this is primarily about. I don't have any physical conditions right now. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's always a physical condition, whatever, but basically I don't have a physical condition that it's my priority to get healed or something like that. And yet I still, meditate every day. this process as well. It's a type of meditation for me. I do my own meditation when I'm not online. I do morning and evening meditation because it's not just about healing a particular physical illness. For me, this is a process of evolution, of being able to unite more fully with my higher self, unite more fully with Yona, with that greater overall being able to come closer to God, come closer to Meher Baba. This is a process to free my consciousness from the confines of the mind and be able to access those regions more directly, regions of light, and being able to tap into that light, plug into that light, merge with that light. So that's what this is really about. Healing and spiritual growth are one and the same for me and for how this process works. And everybody that continues on this process will get healed in time, and it won't just be from the physical ailments, it'll be from the entire karmic structure as a whole. So that's what we are really about here. I lastly want to check in with Lenka, and Lenka, you can also tune in with us. I see a response here. We have somebody asking it. It's new to me. I'm a bit scared if it's good for everyone. That's an amazing question. I appreciate that question. And I just saw the message where you wrote it. So you must have written it earlier, and it took me a while to get to it. But that's an amazing question, and let's address it directly right now. This process is for everyone. The reason why it's for everyone is complicated, and we'll explain that now. Because there's a lot of processes that aren't for everyone. I've been in processes where I've been just shot up with tons of energy, Shakti energy, and had my system completely, fried, and been able to sleep for, weeks after that. That's a process that wasn't for everyone. At the time, I would have had to been ready to handle all of that. So there have been some people, including me at that time, this was several years ago, that particular process, kind of blindly throwing a pure Shakti energy, is not something that would be for everyone. Another process that I went through that wouldn't be for me and wouldn't be for everyone, and this might seem ironic to you, but it ideally would not have been for me, even though I did it for so many years, is a standard meditation practice, such as the ones that just focus on the breath. So I spent time doing that for 15 years, just doing meditations that focus on the breath. It wasn't for me. The reason why is because I had so many blockages that tied into my mental structure that it was a complete waste of time focusing on the breath for 15 years, because I wasn't able to absorb my mind and get close to the level of concentration that would have been required. I just had too many thoughts going on. I had OCD, depression, just too much of an active mind. It was completely useless. This process is a process for everyone. It's a process that everyone can benefit from. And the reason why is because it's to the utmost extent, it is individualized. And there's an extremely high level of intelligence, precision, and fine-tuning behind this process. And I'm going to talk right now specifically about my higher self, Yona, and how it works. Yona is a multidimensional being. It's existed for millions of years before humans walked the earth. It's a very large being, both in terms of size and in terms of capacity, intellectual capacity. You can almost think of it as computing horsepower. It has a lot of it. And it's multidimensional, which means it can work on multiple people at the same time and have an individualized process. And there's a lot of beings like this, and there are other beings that can participate if those are the most beneficial specifically for you. But a being like Yona, who is an ascended master in her own right, has spent, countless human lives learning how to heal, doing healing, countless times before that healing on other planets. She knows how to heal in a very safe way, and she knows the human system inside and out, and knows all the conditions, physical and mental, that you might be experiencing and all the different combinations of those conditions. And when she looks at you, she looks with an extremely fine-tooth comb. She can see all the sanskaras that are there, when they occurred, what they're about, and how they're affecting you now. And as a feminine entity, a female dragon, she's very sensitive, and she's not going to be overbearing, and she's not going to overpush. And if you do feel some strain in this process, which some people do, it's only because she thinks you can handle it and knows you can handle it. So she's not going to be super overbearing. If anything, you might tend to find the process underwhelming because she is so calm, and she doesn't exaggerate, and she doesn't get into theatrics or anything like that. She just goes after what she needs to go after, gets rid of the blockages that she needs to in the most efficient way possible without unnecessary strain. So because of that targeting and the intelligence behind it, so yes, the energy is shooting out of, my fingertips, my palms, the sides of my head, my crown, but it's coming in with the intention of who it's going to go to and where it's going to go. The right amount is coming out. It's going to where it needs to go. It's like, like a super precision, flying in a super precise way. And when it gets to you, she's using it. If Yona's the one harnessing that energy, she's going to use it in an extremely precise way. And it's not going to fly around where it doesn't need to go, or do anything unsafe. So absolutely, this process is something anyone can benefit from of any age. We're not doing anything dramatic or extreme here. We're not we're not doing Kundalini activations in places or ways that it could be dangerous. We're not doing any of that. What we're doing is the work that needs to be done, and the right work for where you are in your time and situation. The work that needs to be done now where you are now will be different than the work that's going to be done tomorrow or next week. People are in different places at different times in their lives, and that's all accounted for in this process. So I really appreciate your question, MB, and we're gonna take a little bit of time, and we're gonna tune into you for a second right now. So let's see, MB. Interesting. Feeling a nice smooth flow for you. Feeling activity in the crown chakra as well as in the chest. Moving the chest just below the heart space. Coming up right side of the chest. Coming into the center of the chest. Coming right here in the center of the chest now. And this is a place where anxiety could be stored. I used to have a lot of anxiety stored in this exact area. I know it. I know it very well, and I know how frustrating it can be. And one of the things we do in this process is get rid of things that are that anxiety that are so persistent and annoying. And it was something I just couldn't seem to get rid of in any other way. And I was so grateful to have a process like this. Finally have a way to, remove it instead of running around in circles with these things. So we're gonna step off now. I'm really glad you joined us, MB. Do please go to my website, and if you just enter your email at my first name, last name, Jonah Bernstein /join, I will add you on the calendar invite, and then you can sign up on the Telegram and WhatsApp for the updates and know when else we're going this week. I'd love to spend some more time working on you. So I want to thank everybody who attended, and we're going to specifically be doing another Meher Baba meditation on an official Meher Baba platform, on an official Meher Baba Zoom platform. This was for the group based in South Carolina, United States, at the Meher Baba Center. And their platform is called babazoom.net. That's BABAZOOM.net. And at 12 p.m. Thursdays, every Thursday, Eastern Standard Time, we have a meditation specifically dedicated to Baba and bringing Baba in. So if you resonated with Baba, who we brought in for a lot of this meditation, came in the earlier parts very significantly, please consider joining that meditation. And of course, we always have our usual meditations as well, and we'll be having those Monday through Thursday this week. So it's lovely to see everybody here, either here on the replay. Write in the comments on whatever platform you're watching on how it was for you. What did you feel? If you felt nothing, that's okay. If you felt something, that's okay. Let us know how you feel. Let us know what's going on in your life. Let me know what issues you're trying to address. Are you working on healing something physical? Are you working on straightening out certain processes in your mind? What's happening in your life? What do you want to heal? Let me know. So yeah, ping me in the comments. I'll follow up with you in the comments and individually, and we will continue with this work tomorrow at our usual time, 11 a.m. EST. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Have a good day, have a good night, and God bless you all. I'll